Hey and welcome to this video. My name is Nina and in today's video we are going to be working on the area in front of Rest Services. So as you can see, Rest Services is kind of next to the little city that we have worked on during the past couple of weeks. And we have this big open space and I kind of was feeling like we should keep it that way. So let's just hop right into it. So to explain a bit about the vibe as I'm like laying down the bare bones of this build, which is basically just a few simple blocks of like pathing and custom designs, and then I will play around with a little fence that I wanted to kind of look like it would go across and like kind of diagonally down on the left side here through the little foliage that we have going on. So while I'm explaining that, let me explain a little bit about the inspiration behind it. So since this is kind of next to the airport, I was thinking that I wanted this to be like an overgrown abandoned runway where in like active days of the city, so when this city was like still inhabited and such, since this is still a post-apocalyptic abandoned lost city that we're going for the theme, and I just thought this would be the perfect spot to have like an overgrown runway so that we have like a big open space with like the rest of what was once the runway, so like a few broken up pieces of like concrete or something like that, and then just nature around it, very open, almost like a field kind of looking, but a bit more city-esque. So it's very difficult for me to explain. Very, very difficult. So to the left here, I was kind of going for this like bundle of foliage vibe. So we will be implementing a bunch of shrubbery, a bunch of flowers, then also some items that are natural. So like log items, stone items, mush items, stuff like that, to kind of just break up the abundance of flowers and shrubbery that we have going on everywhere on the island. Yeah, kind of just make it feel a bit more interesting and diverse, to just add a little dimension and depth to all of this. Yeah, so while I'm doing this, we are going a bit off topic today because I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but I just thought it would perfectly describe me, because I just reached the pinnacle of being an introvert, which I would like to call introvertism. And you could probably also say I've reached partner status on having social anxiety at this point, because I just ordered in my groceries, and on top of that, because I didn't want to face any people whatsoever, I left the delivery guy a note so that he would leave the bag in front of the lift where he could like just drop off the little bag for me to pick up, because I also didn't want to face him. And so I did that and got my groceries that way this week. And then I was kind of going to pick up the grocery bag after like he rang my doorbell and I knew that it was there and he left, or I thought he left. But apparently the lift was still occupied by another person, so he was still waiting, and I was like going outside to pick everything up, and he was still standing there, and I just ran back inside because I didn't want to face him. It was so awkward. And that dude was so goddamn handsome. So handsome. Why did I not let him drop it off at my door? Can you please tell me? Why am I like this? That dude was like tall. He had like dark curly hair. He was like the Netflix dream of like the main character, the main male character in a teen drama, you know? And I didn't want to face him. So that's on my day. And after that, now that I'm so anxious about people, I'm actually going to go and wait some tables at a friend's parents' wedding anniversary. Very lovely to wait tables when you're so socially anxious at the moment. I just love that. I just love that for me. But yeah, very chatty today. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so hyped up. Probably because I'm a little bit nervous, but we will just move on and go back to the build now. So while I was babbling on, I was basically just finishing up the foliage part to the left here, and now we're going to move over to the right side to work a bit on the buildings that we have going on, because I want to eventually bring the city around back behind Rest Services to kind of connect to the city that we have going on the left side. So I just wanted to have like these little houses. I'm only going to work on the first one though, because I'm not sure how it's going to connect to a city or what exactly the city is supposed to look like that we will put behind it. So I just tried to make this little white house here to kind of act as an abandoned, I don't know, maybe communication center that was once coordinating all the flights or something like that, like the tower, but as a building, you know, as a normal house, not a tower, something like that. And I played around with this build a lot because I'm still, again, getting used to the simple panel style buildings, but it was so much fun and I love the custom designs. Speaking of which, I think I'm actually happy with all the custom designs that I have accumulated over the past couple of builds and weeks and stuff. So I am working on getting all of them together, getting all the credits together, because I like to give credit where it's due, so that we might have all of the codes ready for either the stream on Thursday or Sunday, so in a week or so. So I'm trying to work on that, just in case anyone is wondering. I'm working on that to bring it to you as soon as possible, but it will be very, very soon because I'm not thinking about changing many of the codes anymore. So yeah. And then I just played around with this build a lot. I also played around with like adding a stall in front of it, and I did a lot more than I am showing in this video because I was just so unsure about how I wanted this to look. So I just left in the parts that were kind of representative. And then in front of the house, I kind of wanted to incorporate just some barrels, some random items that look like could have worked for both like the keeper of the airport, kind of the person who was like in charge of everything going smoothly and stuff, but also like the airport itself, so that, you know, maybe the plane needs oil. I don't know. I was just playing with items a bunch and it was so much fun. Also, you will see me lay down a bunch of concrete in a minute, which took me so long to figure that out. And throughout the build, I will also exchange some parts to like make it look a bit more overgrown. So I will make some holes bigger because I always leave like little holes in the concrete so that we can have like some plants popping through in some places. And I'm also going to chop down some trees to really make this feel like something was like kind of growing there. I don't know, which doesn't make that much sense if I'm thinking about it now with the trees, because the trees will probably have been chopped down before the airport was actually active and not afterwards. But we will ignore that fact. It looks cute, okay? It looks cute. And I don't know what else to talk about, but please, if you are still watching, thank you so much for still watching. Maybe you will like to, you know, leave a like, leave a comment, tell me how your day went, tell me what you're working on your island currently, all that good stuff. And maybe also consider subscribing, because it's such a fun time with me not knowing what to talk about, you know? More quality content coming your way. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And now magically all the concrete has appeared because I cut out a bunch because I don't think it's that interesting for you to look at. Yeah, and then I'm basically just implementing like a bunch more items and just flowering and shrubbing up the area a bit. And to the right side here, we will also have like a little patch of like a couple of trees and like more foliage to kind of really just frame this strip of street and runway kind of. And I'm also going to be working a bit with some wind turbines because I thought it would just fit this area really well. I know that I said before when I did like my abandoned field campervan speed build that the windmills were kind of feeling a bit too alive because they are moving, but I kind of felt like they really fit this area, so I really wanted to incorporate them in here. Yeah, so that's basically what I did. Now, if I sound completely different to what I did a second ago, is mainly just because I then had to tab out and go to that wedding thing that I talked about, because I was running late and I still wanted to finish the voiceover, which obviously I didn't make it, let's be honest. So I'm doing that now, so if my voice sounds a little bit different, that's why. But let's continue on to the build. So more pondering, and then I'm actually Did you just see that man giving me the side eye? You built up the entire island by yourself then, monsieur. I don't know what that transition just was, but yeah, after that pondering that was there for a second, I'm now breaking up the path a bit more, which I have mentioned before, to pop a little flower in there. And I will do that quite a few times throughout the build. And I was so unsure about what to do to the right side, because I was thinking about maybe popping in some more trees there to the right, like towards the front of the island, and maybe even implementing another villager house to also act as one of those like airport related small little buildings on the runway or something like that, because I thought it would be very cute. And yeah, then I was playing around with this left part of the build quite a lot too, because again, I just had no plan as like usual. I never have a plan for my builds, or very, very rarely I do actually have like an image in mind that I want it to look like exactly. I always have like a rough sketch or like a mood board of the items that I'm trying to use, but I never am like sure about what exactly this whole build will turn out. So I was just playing a bunch with it, but eventually I feel like it came together very, very nicely, and I really love, excuse the dog's collar tinkling again, because I feel like that's also a common theme in my videos at this point. So please excuse and ignore. But I tried to add in some details without breaking up the runway too much, because I still wanted this to feel like a broad road kind of. So I am trying to also implement those lovely newspaper custom codes that I love so much and were always like used to break up the pathing, because I don't know, I just feel like it adds so much detail, because there's so much detail on the code itself already. I just kind of tried to play around with some dropped items, some leaf piles as well. I will also add some scattered papers and just play with it. And I wanted to have all the wind turbines that I'm adding in slowly to be like in one shot. That's why I'm playing around and like panning the camera up and down so much. And yeah, I was just really trying to like make everything fit in a frame, because I always like to think of my builds as like kind of a picture. Not always. Sometimes I also just don't care about the picture. I just want it to feel nice as you walk through it. For example, like the city that we did. But for the most part, I also like to have a good picture build, if that makes sense.
Nope.
So that like the frame you're looking at the build looks complete, finished and stuff like that. For this back part, I basically wanted like a little group of like random signposts, because I felt like it was a good kind of point for the townies to come to like go their ways. So like a good central point for the townies, which is basically like the plaza, obviously. So I don't know, I just wanted that to be like a group of like random signposts, maybe like a bulletin board, stuff like that. That's also why I played around with that big ass campsite sign now. But I just wasn't sure if that would block off too much, so I took it down for now. Maybe we'll pop it back later whenever we figure out what will be surrounding rest services, but I'm not sure about that now. So then I kind of just moved on and over to add some more items to both of the sides. You know, then I again had to throw in some more newspaper, because we all now know how much I love the newspaper custom design that I have downloaded. I even downloaded a second one now. Again, speaking of which, we will have the codes very soon. And yeah, and I also recently downloaded this like, I don't know if that's the right word to describe it very well, but like this tarp looking kind of blue plastic code, because I felt like it just added a little something, I don't know. And I really love the folds on it, because it actually looks quite real to me. And it also adds another blue element, because now we have decided that we will I think I've said that in like so many builds, so I will probably stop saying that for the next one. But we have decided that we are going to be using some blue items and elements throughout this island, because I just feel like it would fit the island very well, and it would add another color without adding another color. Just because in the weeds and such that are in this type of the year, in this part of the time of year, right now in the game, have like blue elements, and like the trees also have like this blue tint to them, which I think is very lovely, and it adds to this whole like cold, dead looking thing to me. So I thought it would be a nice addition to add the blue colors also throughout the items, and it also gives us a bit more item variety, because if I only was allowed to use like neutral colors and green, it would be very difficult to actually have like some item variety. But I think this is a good color combination, and it still looks like super natural, like not supernatural, but like very natural. Love that those two are like the complete opposites from each other. And then I just went around and added to this right part, which we created like this little forest of. And I think we will also be including more bamboo and chopped bamboo throughout the next builds, then, because I don't want to waste bamboo trees. So whenever we do that villager hunting stream for Tad, we might actually run into some bamboo islands, which I think would be great, because then we could pick up a bunch of bamboo trees and kill 2 flies with one, what's that saying? Hand? I don't even know. But you know what I mean. Oh, my brain, I need more coffee. But yeah, then we can actually just play around a bit more with the chopped bamboo, because now I get like a serious pain whenever I chop down a bamboo tree, because I'm always scared that I don't want to keep it in that place and I need to chop down another one because I need to dig it up again, you know, that whole jazz. But yeah, I just then went in and sprinkled in some more finishing touches, custom designs, dropped items, all that good stuff. Yeah, then that actually was it for today. So I'm going to leave you now with a montage of the finished product. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the channel, as I would love to have you here and it would mean a lot to me. So take care of yourself. Until next time, and bye-bye.